After you've customized your copy of Illustrator, you might want to back up those settings in case disaster strikes, or if you want those same settings on another computer. As a member of the Creative Cloud, Illustrator gives you this capability. Let's take a look. I'm beginning this video with Illustrator open on my computer, and I don't have a document open right now. And what I'm going to do is, on Windows, you would go to your Edit menu. On the Mac, you would go to the Illustrator menu. And I'm going to go to Preferences, Sync Settings. Now, in order for you to utilize these settings, you have to be signed in using your Adobe ID for your Creative Cloud account. So if you haven't done so already, you're going to want to do that now. Now, you can see that right now, these settings have not been synced. But let's take a look at what we can sync. So down here at the bottom where we have the Sync Settings options, we have a drop-down menu where we could choose to sync all of our settings, no settings, or only selected settings, so whichever you prefer. I'm going to leave mine set to all settings. And so the question becomes, well, what exactly can we sync? Well, we can sync our preferences, which is pretty cool, all of our presets, swatches, brushes, East Asian settings, for those of you who utilize that language, workspaces, keyboard shortcuts, symbols, and graphic styles. So you can see how powerful this is going to be. Now down here at the bottom it says, when and if a conflict occurs, what do you want Adobe to do? And so by default it's going to ask for your preference. But you could choose to sync the local settings, meaning the settings on the computer you're working on, the cloud settings, which would be the settings that are stored up in the cloud, or you could choose to keep the latest file, whichever is the most current. I'm going to leave it set to ask my preference. Now, to sync the settings, we can do that a couple of different ways. I can click the Sync Settings Now button. I'll just go ahead and click OK for now. We can also go to the Illustrator menu on Mac or the Edit menu on Windows, and you can choose your Adobe ID, and you can choose Sync Settings Now here. And one final location, when you have a document open, I'll just create a new blank document to show you. Down here in the lower left corner, we have a Sync Settings button. So if you click on that, you can also choose to sync the settings there. So I'm just going to go to my Illustrator menu, go to my Adobe ID, and choose Sync Settings Now. And there's no real visual indicator letting you know what's happening, and that can be a little bit frustrating. But to see the current status, we could click on this button again, and it tells me that my last sync was on this date at this time. And that'll also show you if you go to your Illustrator menu on Mac or your Edit menu on Windows and go to Preferences, Sync Settings, and that'll tell you that right there as well. Another place where you can sync your settings is you can click on this button and click Sync Settings Now, and that'll sync those settings right away. So you can see, as a member of the Creative Cloud, you never have to worry about losing your settings or recreating them for use on another computer. Using the Sync Settings feature, you can ensure that Illustrator will work the same on all of your computers.